Soma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, we got a big heavyweight fight coming up, a WBC style, in England. It's going to be Tyson Fury, WBC and lineal heavyweight champion versus Dillian White, who most considered to be one of the top 5 heavyweights. It's a big deal in Britain. I don't think they should put it pay-per-view everywhere else, but it's definitely a big deal in Britain. Now, some interesting news, and I knew it. You were probably wondering why we hear crickets about Tyson Fury's friend, an alleged mob boss. And I don't know if we can still keep calling it alleged because the U.S. Treasury has put $5 million on the whereabouts if anybody can let them know where Daniel Kinanhan is. Now, Daniel Kinanhan is the guy that we know was in charge of MTK Global. It's a British outfit, Irish, and he was the head of it. A lot of boxers got involved, but the main one was Tyson Fury, because Tyson Fury thanked him during the Anthony Joshua negotiations, thanked him for it, and he's been recently, with a picture of him in Dubai, because that's where Kinanhan is supposed to be right now. But if you put $5 million on somebody's head, basically, not dead or alive or anything like that, just so they can catch him, so they can get this mob cartel they're trying to get behind. Now, Tyson Fury, he knows he's down with this guy, right? We know that. But you hear the crickets, especially in the U.S. media, not too many people talking about it. That's huge. $5 million somebody can find, so that FBI can find this Daniel Kinanhan. Now, before this fight with Tyson Fury and Dillian White, the media has basically been banned, right, from asking them these questions. Now, I'm just going to read a little thing about the article, right? They said questions directed to Tyson Fury about potential links to the alleged organized crime boss Daniel Kinanhan were audibly blocked during a promotional event ahead of the boxer's bout against Dillian White. So they're blocking, and they're going to make sure that you can't ask him about that, right? And these things, let me make sure this is clear. In America right now, we know how the divide is. Look at Mississippi right now. Mississippi just passed a law where you can't talk about critical race theory in schools. And what they try to give it this name. It's basically, can we talk about slavery and some of the transgressions that have been going on in American history? Because it's American history. We can't just tell them all the good stuff, right? That's a part of American history. Our kids need to know that so they will grow up to not be that way. Well, it's a law that they can't do that in Mississippi. They can't talk about it. But they also passed a law that in April, we're going to call it Confederate Heritage Month, right? We're going to celebrate the people Confederate for a whole month. That means, if people don't know what Confederate means, that means we fought so we can have slavery, so we can own people and treat them how we want them to treat them. We can rape their women so you can get people that look like me. If you didn't come from Morocco or Egypt, you didn't look like this coming from Africa. That's because people got raped and you started looking like me. See what I'm saying? This is what we're going to celebrate, right? We're going to have it on American soil. So basically, that's a problem. Well, the whole world looks and see if America's doing that, then hell, we can be racist if we want to. Look at France. They're about to have a right-wing president, Le Pen, if they keep messing around. Bottom line is, this is the things that they're doing. So they're basically condoning this kind of behavior. And so Tyson Fury, who we know is a 2-time doper, right? But when he was doped, and we try to ignore it. Now he's sparred with Jarrell Miller, and they keep calling Jarrell Miller a dope cheat, but not Tyson Fury or Canelo Alvarez or Oscar Valdez or anybody else. But I'm just saying, bottom line is, we supposed to be saying, no, Tyson Fury, the drug cheat, is hired another drug cheat to to spar with. No, we're just calling Jarrell Miller the drug cheat. Like we forget. Now, Fury, we had when Fury said he was dope when he got doped with Martin Carefoot and all that stuff. Martin Carefoot is a 70-year-old guy who basically caught him or sold him the wild boar, right? So, but he said he didn't. And people came to Martin Carefoot's house, even though he's 70 years old. Now, could that have been Daniel Kinanhan, Lloyd? People, we don't know. We had the glove gate with Deontay Wilder and all that stuff. People just don't look into it. The bottom line here is the WBC president also is also just gave his seal of approval to Daniel Kinanhan a few weeks ago. Something has to happen here. We can't just ignore that. We can't keep ignoring the Tyson Fury is affiliated with the guy. We have to confront these problems if we're going to solve them. I'm going to keep it short because I don't want to get upset about it's just too much going on right now. I think the Tyson Fury should have to address these problems even before a fight, because let's make sure it's clear. He really doesn't have a British boxing license, but they're ignoring all these things. And if he continues to get away with murder, well, not murder, but get away with these things, he's going to continue to be the way he is. Look at Trump. I've committed every crime possible, but people love me because I say racist things overtly. It's not a boxing issue. This is a people issue. People, it's only two kind of people on the planet, good and bad. There is no others. Your parents just tell you who to hate, and then you have to grow up and be able to understand that it's not that way. You know what I'm saying? There's no reason to keep hating each other. It's the same type of people that's doing it. You have to make sure that you have to show them that you know what time it is and that you're not going to accept this type of behavior. Tyson Fury needs to have some problems here. He needs to be made uncomfortable. Right? We shouldn't make it comfortable. You are affiliated with the guy, so answer questions about him. Simple. Doma Sports Talk worldwide. And I'm up out of here.